Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now I'm sure by now you've seen somebody walking around with what looks like a battering ram with a stick of dynamite inside of it, also known as a Stanley cup. You either have one yourself or know somebody that has one, or somebody in your life, maybe like a partner or a child, asked for one for Christmas, and your response to them was, well, I'm not going to pay $45 for a stupid cup. So you decided to buy them a different brand instead, and when they opened the cup it wasn't a Stanley, so then they, bashed your head in right there with it. Now these cups are the latest in like the lifestyle trends that you see, which I am in support of because it supports staying hydrated, making sure you're getting enough water or mommy special juice if that's what you have in there.
I can see you, Susan.
Now we saw something similar a while back with the Hydroflask trend, but I would say this is probably worse since, we never saw lines and hordes of people fighting over a Hydroflask. That and Hydroflasks aren't made of poison, but we'll get to that soon. Now, I do want to say before we carry on that this video is not meant to be mean to anybody in any way. I've seen a lot of people talk about this in a way that's kind of just mad at women for doing something they enjoy. I also have no room to talk because I used to have a Hydroflask. I even currently have my own stainless steel cup. It was literally $7 at Walmart and it works. I don't even remember the last time I used it. So my first question was where the Stanley brand even came from. And then I realized it's the same brand that makes these green thermos bottles that your 43-year-old coworker probably has. I always found it weird seeing people carrying these around at the warehouse job I used to have, because nothing sounds better after a 12-hour shift of loading and unloading trailers like a hot bowl of soup. Now this was invented by someone named William Stanley Jr. who wanted an all-steel insulated flask that would keep hot things hot and cold things cold. It was primarily marketed towards blue-collar workers who literally could not physically leave the place they were working. I'm sure it's tough to take a lunch break when you're up in an unfinished building without anything tying you down to something. Yeah, we're really trying to get something together. Deborah wants to do the walls green. I don't think it's going to look green with me. Yeah, so anyway, I think teal would look so much better. Since then, we've seen tons and tons of companies come out with fully insulated water bottles and cups, like the Hydroflask, because this is definitely not functional outside of a work setting. Imagine you're at the gym and you see an influencer walk in holding one of these things. I would just immediately call the police. There cannot be anything safe in that thing. So Stanley also wanted to release a functional everyday cup, so they released the Quencher in 2016. But let's just say it didn't really make a splash. You're allowed to laugh at that. I won't tell anybody. But while they were struggling to get these sold to blue-collar workers, they got a little help from a shopping blog called The Buy Guide. That's also what I say whenever I'm leaving my group of friends. Buy Guide! So The Buy Guide made a post about the Stanley Cup, saying that of all of the insulated cups you could get, this was the best one. Why is that, you ask? Because not all of them have a straw and handle and are dishwasher safe. Okay, I get the dishwasher safe part. I literally promise you there were cups in 2017 that had What? There were cups that had cups. I understand the dishwasher safe part, but I promise you there were cups with straws and handles in 2017. And the best ones were released by Stanley, so go get you one today. Their endorsement was so successful that Stanley worked with them directly to shift their marketing strategies. One thing led to another, and Stanley made $750 million in profits last year, all because 3 women said to buy one. Imagine when the Stanley falls off and they have to promote a new cup. Alright ladies, so Stanleys are out, but don't worry because we have a great alternative for you. So it's actually these red cups that pizza places in the 90s used to have. No branding, none of that crap. I promise you, once you drink an ice cold Mountain Dew out of one of these things, your life will be forever changed. Just trust. I don't think I fully grasped how popular they were until I fell upon the Water-tok community on TikTok. And if you're unfamiliar with Water-tok, it was basically where people were taking all of these drinks and syrups, concocting these insane potions and then calling it their water of the day. You just put Starburst powder, Skittles powder, Kool-Aid powder, and skinny syrup all into one drink and you're still calling it water.
Let's give that a mixeroonie.
This is another thing where it's if you do this, I don't care, do whatever you want. I'm just saying with all the artificial sweeteners and preservatives in it, it basically makes it the same as drinking juice. Can y'all tell that I almost did a Watertok video? I'm editing the video right now and there's something I noticed that I really need to bring up. So something I noticed between the people that were in the general Stanley community and people who were on Watertok as well, people would kind of talk about wanting to use them because they're better for the environment since they're reusable and everything. But there's so many of them that will get their water for their Stanley from a plastic water bottle. Still not really saving the environment. I'd say you're probably wasting more plastic by dumping 2 or 3 bottles into a Stanley. I highly implore some of you to just get a Brita and call it a day. I just really wanted to point that out, so back to me. They also got a pretty good PR boost after this woman's TikTok. Her car caught on fire, but the Stanley was not only intact, but it
Still has ice in it.
and like, it's actually pretty good PR, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm sure this just got people to buy one because they were like, oh yeah, the ice lasts for a while in it. I like to think that people got this just because they're that worried about fires all the time. Yeah, I actually ended up getting the Stanley because you never know when you're gonna have to go visit the fucking Fire Lord's castle. And after this, basically, I was seeing more and more people with Stanleys every day. And not just one, but like shelves and cabinets full of them. Like, I understand if you maybe had like 2 or 3 of them. Like, maybe you forgot to wash one, so you at least have a backup just in case. But the whole point of having a reusable cup is to, say it with me now,
Buy as many as I possibly can because consumerism is the only thing I'm ever going to know in my godforsaken lifetime.
Now, for example, there's this TikTok where somebody has 16 Stanleys in total that we can see. And the Stanleys can vary in price, but let's say that these all cost the standard $45 per cup. That means that at the least, she has spent a total of $720 on these Stanleys. Look, if you have the money and that's how you want to spend it, then sure. I'm sure she didn't get every single one of these at one time and actually had a $700 bill, so it's not like as bad. But like, do you have normal cups in your home? Like, is this the glassware for your house? You know, thank you for coming over. It really means the world. Can I get you anything to drink? Oh yeah, like a glass of water sounds great right now. Of course, I'll be right back. And for a minute there, I thought that that was going to be the craziest thing I saw out of this whole Stanley craze. I'm sure by now you've seen people storm Target because they wanted those limited edition Stanley Valentine's cups, which I want to mention this sign clearly says limit 2 per customer. I can guarantee you some people were not limiting 2 per customer. And if that wasn't enough, there was a Stanley collab with Starbucks, which had people waiting in lines outside of Target. Target ended up having to keep the cups behind the counter and hand them out when they were paying for them. This is new video game console treatment for a fucking cup. There's even a video where someone jumped over the counter to try to steal the cups, but they were apprehended.
They're trying to steal. You guys, this is insane. Look at this stupid. Get him, get him. Stop him, stop him, stop him, stop him. Yeah, stop him. I didn't touch him. I didn't touch him.
And here's the thing. I want it to be known, stealing is bad. All I know is that if someone is stealing something from a store, you do not know this person and what they have or what they're going to do to get the thing they're trying to steal. Employees are even told not to like step in and interfere because they don't want to like put themselves in harm's way over a cup. And also, I'm pretty sure the only reason you're stopping him is because he has the thing that you also want. I wouldn't say you're exactly being a hero right now. And you know the guy that stopped him is just going to be telling everyone about this for years to come. It's going to make it sound like he was in like White House Down or something when he just like pushed a guy. And there's also this one where someone's daughter got made fun of for not having a Stanley.
Maybe, she said 9, 10 of them all got Stanleys for Christmas, and they made sure to let her know that this is not a real Stanley, that this is fake, and it's not as cool.
Which is really mean and sucks because kids are mean and suck. The mom's final solution to helping her kid get bullied was to just buy her a Stanley anyways.
If you're a mom, if you're a parent, and you can do something to keep your child from getting made fun of, to help fit in, you're gonna do it. So we went and bought her a 30-ounce Stanley.
And then there's this rant about her not wanting her daughter to feel left out if she can afford name brand things because they can, so it's actually fine. You know, I just want my children to know that they can be themselves and not have to follow the same trends that everybody else follows. They're their own person and they should be allowed to do their own thing. But I did buy her the exact same thing that she got made fun of for not having because I can afford it, and not buying name brand expensive stuff for your child makes you the worst parent ever, obviously. So I think that all gives you a pretty good idea of just how seriously some people take these cups. And of course on Twitter we saw like the classic cycle of trends where everybody wanted one, then everybody questioned why everybody wanted one, and then you get called a misogynist if you question why somebody wants one. I do agree a lot of criticisms I saw were just like kind of belittling women for wanting them, but I don't think there's anything wrong with questioning why somebody wants this specific brand if they just want like an insulated tumbler. Like, people were even trying to make fun of everyone that was like decorating their Stanleys, but I honestly thought that was really cool. My only question was like if they would do this for any of their other cups or if it's only for the Stanley. Like, imagine if you tried to do up like a Yeti cup like this and you just get banished to hell. So it had been a minute since I heard anyone really talk about it, so I thought that the whole Stanley thing was over. Then like the weirdest possible scenario happened. So word started going around that people were testing their Stanley cups for lead and it was coming back positive for it, including this person who tested her Stanley along with 2 other cups, and the Stanley was the only one that tested positive for it, which explains why it made everyone want to get a bunch of these, because like the lead just got to their brains. It got taken out of paint everywhere, but Stanley found a way to make it happen again. That lead poisoning mixed with our microplastics, it's gonna create a truly potent combination. And I would say this caused a bit of concern amongst the people that bought like 73 of these and were using them every single day. Now this prompted Stanley to release a statement confirming that the cups do in fact contain some lead. It gets sealed into the bottom of the cup and it's supposed to not be dangerous to you unless that seal gets broken, which I would hazard a guess that with it being on the very bottom of the cup, it's not that unlikely that it could get damaged and unsealed. You know, like maybe if it gets dropped a lot by a child. Yeah, you wanted to fit in so bad and now you have lead poisoning like all the other girls. I hope it was worth it. And they said the lead shouldn't be anywhere like on the inside of the cup, even though the person that tested it said she did it on the inside of the cup. So I think that means somebody's lying here, but I don't care enough to figure out who. Another thing they tried to do to deflect was say that this is just the industry standard for cups. Like they're a middle schooler who got caught with something they shouldn't have had, and their response was just, well, they were doing it too. This lead isn't even mine. I don't know where it came from. So yeah, they tried to throw every other insulated bottle and cup brand under the bus, but there was one brand that threw a heater at them. Hydroflask comes out with a statement that says they haven't used lead in their sealing process since 2012. Even this one I have has the lead thing on the bottom. I don't want this anymore. So I think the message for today is that while these trends can be fun to partake in, make sure you're not just doing them to do them. You know, if that's the cup you really want, then go for it, but don't feel obligated to get it just because it's the same one that everybody else has. You know, you can do your own thing. Don't let other people judging you get to you, or else you're gonna end up with lead poisoning apparently, unless you get the Hydroflask. Seriously, the healthcare kind of sucks here, so like it's not worth getting that sick over a cup. So I think that's gonna be everything from me for today. I know this video is a little different. It's a little more ranty than I usually do, because honestly, I just love talking shit. Hater till I die, baby. But I still hope you enjoyed the video. So make sure you leave a like and comment on the video if you enjoyed it. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel because it means the world to me. And ring the bell so that way you never miss an upload. I need y'all to watch my videos so I can make back the money I'm about to spend on this Hydroflask tumbler, so I'd really appreciate it. Thank you all again, and stay safe out there. Make sure you don't get any lead poisoning from the Stanley cups. And I will see you next time. Peace. Spending time with somebody I don't know. I wanna save